Do you need funds for your business? A lot of startup founders, they are constantly reaching out to angel investors, VCs, family offices trying to raise funds. But have you truly asked yourself, do you actually need those funds? Is VC funding suitable for your business or not? Answering that question before you actually reach out is going to be extremely important for you to understand that whether it makes sense for you to reach out to the VC funds or not. Because let's face it, not all businesses are suitable for VC funding, right? So today I'm going to be covering these elements which will help you decide whether VC funding is suitable for your business or not to begin with. So if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon, and share it with your friends so that you can get the benefit of the same. So let's get into it. The number one factor which most founders should look at before reaching out to a VC is why are they looking for funding itself? Because most of the founders they see the hype, the media press news which is happening behind VC funding, and they see it day in and day out, right? So they just want to be a part of the cycle, and they want to raise funds for themselves because it gives them a sense of validation. But that's not the way to go about it. VC funding has a very specific purpose, and you need to make sure that it makes sense for your business or not. So number one reason why most companies raise VC funding is to build their product, right? So if your product is a very complicated product, it's a complex tech product or a medical device or a physical device product which requires a few CRs of money to even build the product, right? In that case, it's absolutely necessary to raise VC funding. Or if you want to invest in growth and go for hyper growth, especially for D2C companies where there's a lot of ad spend involved in terms of getting the revenues, right? If your company falls in one of these criteria where you need to invest a lot either in the product side or on the growth side, only then does the VC funding make sense for you. If it does not fall in either of these two categories, VC funding is not a good option for your business. So let me kind of elaborate further in terms of how it goes. The number one factor is the business goals and the trajectory, right? Most VCs, when they invest in a company, the early stage VCs at seed stage, they expect the company to grow at least 8 to 10 times a year for the first 1 or 2 years. And when you reach Series A and B stage, they expect a 3 to 5x growth on a year-to-year basis. Only then they can get a reasonable return to the investment that they're making. If your company is not growing that fast, reaching out to a VC makes absolutely no sense because you will not be able to return the capital that they've invested into your business, and you'll end up giving up a significant chunk of the equity in the company. So it's a lose-lose for everyone involved in the deal. So that's why extremely important. Capital requirements. So this second point is capital requirements, and the point which I already covered, right? Why do you want to use the money? Do you want to use it to build your product further, build an advanced product? It has to be something which is very disruptive, so that people haven't seen something like this before. Only then VCs would be interested in something like that. Also, it needs to be a very hyper growth stage, right? These two are the major areas why VCs typically invest in a company. Either a very unique product, a very disruptive product, or a very hyper growth situation. Another very important element is market potential and timing. Now, you must have heard of TAM, SAM, and SOM, right? Getting this right is extremely valuable because you need to have a very sizable TAM in the market. Only then you can have that hockey stick growth, as which is mentioned, right? That 10x growth at the seed stage, 3x, 5x growth at Series A, B stage. Only then can you have that growth, and it needs to be at the right time. So, just to give you an example, 2 years back, Web3 was all the buzz in the market, right? So back then Web3 startups were getting funding because it was the right time for Web3, and the right time right now is AI. And if you have a very specific use case in AI with a very kick-ass product, then it makes a good sense to kind of invest in that. But if there's not, it really doesn't make sense to kind of get into the VC game, because it will kind of take a lot of your time and focus. Instead of building your business, you'll be end up running after the VC money. So getting that thing right is absolutely important. Getting another next point which you need to consider is the competitive landscape. Just think about it, right? If you have 10 players in the market which are already doing the same thing as you, why would a VC invest? VC invest in companies which can either become category creators or category leaders. Look at all the major categories in India, right? In e-commerce, we have Amazon and Flipkart. In food delivery, we have Zomato and Swiggy. Typically, it's a monopoly or a duopoly, and that's the kind of category leaders which VCs want to invest in. The company which can grow to become one of these monopolies or duopolies, those are the kind of companies which VC like to invest in. And if you have too many competitors in the space already, VCs just won't take interest in investing in a company. So getting that right right is absolutely vital as well. One more important point for you to consider is the founder control and ownership, right? To be honest, if you, as and further you go and dilute your business, right, you will be diluting equity within your company. In fact, I know of cases where the company is eventually turns into a unicorn, but the founding team has less than 5 or 10% equity in the company. So even though the company is valued at the unicorn state, the total wealth which has been made for the founders is absolute. It's not that high because of the significant dilution, and the number of companies which actually reach the unicorn stage is itself very low. More often than not, the companies get actually hired at maybe say 50 cr, 100 cr, 500 cr range, which means that the total wealth generation for the founder typically ranges from 25 to 50 cr or maybe even lesser. So to be honest, if you can create a completely cash flow positive business which can generate 10 cr of annual revenue for you, and it is 100% owned by you, that is probably more valuable than building a VC funded business where it might be valued at 50 to 100 million dollars, but the total wealth that is generated for you is 25 to 50 cr at best. So getting this understanding is absolutely vital as well, in terms of what kind of long term benefit that you're going to get out of the business. One more important element to look after in the VC business is the exit strategy, right? A lot of founders, when they're looking for raising funds, they don't truly have like an exit strategy in mind. They think that once we become big, the VCs will keep on supporting us, right? But in the end, the VCs need to take their money out of the system to return to the investors who have invested in the fund themselves, and the founder needs to plan for that. How is he going to give exit to his investors? So that's absolutely vital, and trying to get that right. So if you are not planning that from the beginning itself, you're going to be facing a lot of challenges in terms of convincing the VCs, because especially right now, when a lot of VCs are struggling to kind of get exits from the investments and they're unable to get those exits right now, it becomes all the more important to ensure that you get that exit very quickly and you plan for that right from the beginning itself. Another important area which you want to look at is the VCs that you're working with. Do they have the network and expertise which will help you in terms of growing your business as well? That is a very important element which you need to look at, because if you just take some money from an investor who does not have that kind of resources within the space, so it's just going to be money which is there which you can invest, but it won't help you in terms of any strategic connections. So getting that and planning for that in beginning itself is absolutely important as well. One more major area which you want to look at is alignment of values. What I mean with this is a lot of VCs, they have their own thesis, their own way of kind of building their business, and you would have your own thought process, right? If that thought process is different, right, it could lead to significant conflicts, it could lead to significant challenges going forward, because the VCs are not just going to give you your money and go away, right? They are going to be working with you, they're going to be operational partners with you, and think of it like a short-term 3 to 5 year marriage. So when you have someone who's working with you on board, helping you grow your business, right, it's absolutely important that you figure this thing out from the beginning itself, and ensure that there's a compatibility. It's like a short-term marriage, and you would not marry someone whom you don't know, I don't like and trust, right? So getting that compatibility is an extremely important element in terms of searching the right VC for your business as well. If you're just looking for some quick funds, there are lots of alternative funding sources available which you can potentially explore. Debt is an option always. If you're making 5 to 10 cr of debt, right, you can always look at some small 1 to 2 cr growth funding with the help of debt, which can help you quickly grow your company very quickly. Venture debt is an option, revenue-based financing is an option. There are other forms of grants available these days as well, which were not available earlier to invest as well, right? So, and that's especially true for new innovative research-based companies or hardware-based products. So that is also a good alternative avenue which you can look at. So try to be creative in terms of figuring out how you can raise capital for your business. Another major important which you need to have is the risk tolerance and the trade-off, right? So essentially, when you work with VCs, you need to be willing to kind of understand that essentially the VCs are now in effect your boss. Now, even though it's your company, you are still answerable to the VCs, and you are, because they are part of your board, and you need to answer them because they want returns for the investors. So you need to be ensuring that each and every decision that's made, you're getting that consensus among the entire board. Or else a situation like Baiju might come up, and which is a complete disaster for everyone in the ecosystem involved, right? So that's why getting those on board and getting the trade-off of having the VC and if you get the money, you need to be answerable to them, and it makes you accountable to them, and that comes with a whole basket of trade-offs which you need to be prepared for, compared to bootstrapping it yourself where you don't have that kind of trade-off as well. So think about some of these points before you go to a VC to raise capital, because it's not just if you think it's just money and you're not going to get asked for it, you're not going to have any trade-offs for it, that's an extremely naive way to look at it. You need to be very mature, you need to be well prepared, and realize that everything comes at a cost, and are you willing to pay that cost? you need to be prepared with that, because nothing in life comes for free. There is no such thing as free lunches. So hope this video was helpful for you. Just think about these elements which I've told you in this video, because this will help you kind of make the right mind whether you want VC money or not. So as I mentioned, if you like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to my channel so that you can keep be subscribed to these videos going forward as well. Take care. Bye bye.